should be neither over-allocated nor be under-allocated. Do you agree or not? Right. For example, if the working duration of an organization is 8 hours, right, resources should be allocated as per the working hours. Now, sometimes resources gets over-allocated. Now, this situation can be fixed using two methods depending on the situation. We can use resource leveling for optimizing the resources when we are resource constrained. We can use resource smoothing for optimizing the resources when we are time constrained. Now let's talk about both of these methods, leveling and smoothing, one by one. Let's talk about resource leveling first. In resource leveling, we are resource constrained. Now let's take a sample project, which is there in front of you right now. Let's assume that this project consists of 3 activities, A, B and C. Now if you see activity A, there are 2 resources, Tom and Sue, allocated for 8 hours each. In activity B, we have Sue allocated for 8 hours. Now, and we have activity C where Tom is allocated to 8 hours. Now, if you see this diagram, can you tell me which resource is over allocated here? Yeah, obviously yes. Sue is allocated to 2 parallel activities, which means he is allocated to 16 hours, right? For the duration of where there is an overlap between activity A and activity B. Now, in resource leveling, we are resource constrained. We are not time constrained. Now, how can I optimize Sue? Now, let's assume that I push one activity B, right, where Sue is working independently forward, as you see here. Right? I put one activity A forward, which means previously the relationship between activity A and activity B was almost start to start, parallel. Now the relationship between activity A and activity B becomes finish to start. I am starting activity B when activity A finishes. Right? Now if you see this, now have I optimized Sue or not?
Yes.
Now Sue is only working for 8 hours. But what is the negative? The activity C got pushed to day 3rd. The project which was getting completed in 2 days now is getting completed in 3 days. Now since when I am doing resource leveling, I am not time constrained, I am only resource constrained, I am fine. My focus is I have to level the resource. Right? Even because of leveling a resource, if a critical path shifts or changes, I am okay. Now let's talk about smoothing. Now before we talk about smoothing, any doubts about leveling? No. Now let's talk about smoothing. Now in smoothing, we are time constrained, right? In smoothing, since we are time constrained, we cannot change the critical path, right? We cannot change the critical path. So whatever we have to do is, we have to do within the available flows. So, generally whenever you use smoothing as a technique, we are not able to optimize the resource completely. Right? We may do some activities in parallel, right? We can add some resources from non-critical path to critical path, right? But again, whenever I am doing smoothing to optimize, I have to work within the boundaries of the critical path. My critical path is not changed in case of smoothing. Is this clear? Right. So it depends on a situation. If I am resource constrained, I will be using leveling. If I am time constrained, I will be using smoothing.